Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about that you might be seeing in your St. Augustine grass is what are called looping stolons. Now, this for me, I'm a little past this. Looping stolon phase for me was about 3 weeks ago or so. But some of you, depending where you live, you may be seeing this, so I still have one left here. This is a looping stolon, and what it is, in case you guys don't know, this is how our grass spreads through these stolons, and they'll creep around, and the idea is they're creeping all around in here. There's a bunch of these, and they're forming this dense mat, and they're doing that to keep competition out, namely weeds. They're fighting for space, and that's why our stolons are so aggressive and so strong, and even some of you would call crunchy, because they're trying to hold ground. They have to be strong. So, but what happens is sometimes the stolons, instead of playing nicely together and forming a mat, one will get selfish and jump up and try to go over his brothers and sisters and kind of come back down over on the other side, and that's what this one is doing. By the way, if you've ever been to a house that was maybe neglected or something like that, you'll find stolons that'll grow over bushes, they'll grow over fences. I mean, they're very aggressive. But either way, what'll happen is people will ask, is this a problem? And sometimes you'll find people that have read university websites and they'll say, oh, well, what that means is when you see, well, you know, looping stolons like that, it means you use too much pre-emergent and all your roots are clubbed. And you'll see that a lot. They'll love to use that word.
It's root clubbing, clubbing the roots, root clubbing. The roots get clubbed, the clubs get roots, the roots get clubbed, the club, the root clubbing, the root clubbing, the clubs get root, the roots get clubbed, and you use too much pre-emergent and it's root clubbing.
But as with many things, that's not always the case. Can pre-emergents, if used incorrectly, can they have adverse effects on these roots being able to tack down into the turf or into the soil, I mean? And the answer is yes, but that's why you follow the label. If you follow label directions, you're not going to have those problems. And for example, I can prove it here. This little corner right here, this little section, this is actually Pro Vista St. Augustine grass right here. This has never had a pre-emergent put on it because I can use glyphosate. Well, there's a weed right there. I can use glyphosate to kill the weeds, so I don't need pre-emergent here. And look, we have a looping stolon there. And in fact, if you'd have seen this area just a couple weeks ago, there was a bunch of them here. And the reason the stolons are looping here has nothing to do with pre-emergent. What it has to do with is there's no space. Everything is coming into the sidewalk here. They're all bouncing off that sidewalk. And so what's happening is they're having to go up and high because they're hitting a physical block. So looping stolons are not always caused by pre-emergent, even though you read that on the university website. There are other reasons for it, and here, this proves it.
I tell you, it's root clubbing. Clubbing the roots, root clubbing. Come to the club tonight, come to the club this weekend, come to the root club, the root club. The root club, club rooting club.
So what do you do if you do have looping stolons? The answer is you just wait it out. Like I mentioned, I had a bunch of them in this section just a few weeks ago. Now I only have one left, so you can just cut them off. Some people will take and replant these, and you could do that. You can replant that stolon in the ground, but you got to keep it wet and watered, and I don't know. My grass is already thick enough, so I let the selfish ones die a slow death like that. But no, nothing to worry about, and it's just one of those things that happens, and you got to just wait it out.